Right, so today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, and I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to be doing my just general, like, natural vibes, but glam, lashes, more neutral colours. Obviously I love that. And I'm going to be answering all of your dating questions while I do it, so I'm really excited. Obviously, you know, I love to ramble, I love to answer questions in a very long-winded way, so I'm going to try and not go into too much detail and get through as many of your questions as I can. So thank you for everybody who submitted a question, and yeah, I hope that you get something out of this. So I've got all my questions from you on my iPad, so I'm going to try and get through as many as I can, and I'm just going to get straight into it. Excuse my eyebrows, haven't been threaded obviously for so long, and my skin is a little bit struggles, but probably because I'm like a hermit and I hardly go outside, which is very naughty. So I'll let you know what I'm using as I go as well. I'm using a little bit of It Cosmetics CC cream because it's a little bit lighter, and a pump of my Born This Way foundation as well. Whack it on. Obviously I'm going to use my phone, and you know that's just here, so excuse me if I'm not looking at you, I'm not being rude. So the first question is, drop me beauty blender, where's that gone? 2 secs, can't find it. I've probably had in the foundation. Whoops! So, as I was saying, the first question is, how do you usually meet guys that you date? This is a really good question because I think things have changed this day and age. When I first started going out to town, it very much used to be like, you might meet somebody in a club, they might come over and ask you if you want a drink, or can I have your number? And don't get us wrong, I think that does still happen, but it's a little bit less frequent. And obviously it can be quite intimidating if you're a guy, or even if you're a girl, because I will say that I believe in girls approaching guys as well. I don't think there's any harm in that. But sometimes it can be quite intimidating to like walk over to somebody and be like, hi, I like you. So I've got to admit, a lot of the guys that I've dated, yes, I have met them on nights out, but also I do meet a lot of guys on Instagram. I'm going in with concealer now. Plenty of concealer. I want to look nice and lifted and awake and bright. So yeah, I see Instagram is, just cover them spots as well, it's a little bit of a platform to date, and I don't use, hang on, I need to find my beauty blender, BRB. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I never used a dating app. I think I used Tinder once, and it was basically an epic fail years ago when I had been single for so long. There's nothing the matter with dating apps. I think, especially if you're like working long hours, you don't get out as much, or maybe you're a bit shy, you can't approach people when you're kind of out and about, definitely no problem in using an app. I think they're amazing, great way to meet people, like-minded people, also very safe if you have like a good extended amount of chat before you meet. But for me, they just don't work. A lot of the time I like human connection, I like to know if I vibe with somebody. And like with Instagram, you might say, well, that's not human connection. But what I do find with Instagram is you might see their stories, they might have some videos on, you can kind of see the way they're interacting with like their friends and people on Instagram. And I just really like that. So yeah, sliding in my DMs is normally the way to get my attention. But I just think there's no better vibe or feeling when you're on a night out, or you're at the supermarket, or you go to a friend's party and you're like, he's nice, and then you get chatting or your exchange details. Like, that's really, really nice. But I just think whatever works. Like, I'm so like laid back with things like that, and I trust that when you meet somebody, it's like you've come across them for a reason. And I just think whatever works for you, just go for it. Make sure that's all blended in. Obviously I am basically doing this from afar, so pretty much blind. Powder, Laura Mercier. I got this for Christmas off Santa, and it's absolutely amazing. Everybody raves about it, and I can see why. So just whack this all over your face. Right, next question, because I'm not taking too long. I'm not going to ramble. Should you forgive a cheater? Now, for me personally, again, I want you to take all of this advice with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, I'm not a dating expert, but I have got a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience in the field of dating, and in the field of F-boys, and in the field of cheaters. But also I've dated a lot of nice guys as well. But my first, not my first boyfriend, but my first proper boyfriend, there was a question about how many guys have I been seeing. Boyfriend wise, it's been my first boyfriend when I was like 17, and then my second boyfriend when I was like 19, 20, and then I dated somebody really long term in my mid-20s. But no. And in between that I have dated like guys for like shorter periods of time, like 3-6 months and stuff. But back to what I was saying, should you forgive a cheater? So my boyfriend, who I like loved and I lived with, he cheated on me. He was basically like the love of my life, like treated us like a complete princess, loved him. You know, things went a little bit hairy, as things do, nothing's perfect, and he basically cheated on us. And I just literally moved out, and I just thought, do you know what? By the way, I'm using Hoola bronzer, a mini one. Of course it's mini. I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to move out, and I'm just going to end it, because there's no point in me staying and torturing me and him for the rest of our days. And I honestly thought I was going to marry this guy. Like, I loved him, I worshipped the ground he walked on, and to be honest, it was a very respectful, mutual relationship. It just obviously wasn't meant to be, and you know, sometimes you've just got to accept that. But for me, I was heartbroken for 2 years after that, and there was parts of us thinking, should I have tried to make it work? But I know the kind of person I am, and if somebody wrongs me in that way, I'm going to always bring that up, and I'm always going to remember it, and it's going to be an argument, and we're just going to be miserable. And I just thought, it's not fair. Like, it's not fair to me or him. I think the phrase once a cheat, always a cheat, I don't believe that 100%. But what I do think is, if you accept that kind of behaviour and you're saying, do you know what, that's okay, you are running the risk that they're going to do it again. And I think that's it can be quite toxic and harmful. And once the trust's gone in a relationship, I think that's where the problems start occurring. I think, no, I probably wouldn't forgive a cheater. But again, each circumstance and situation has to be taken on an individual basis, because at the end of the day, you know, some people are married with kids, and some people have different circumstances. Just putting a bit of bronzer through my crease and on my nose. I normally like to put a bit of bronzer over my nose so it looks like I'm tanned. I think that's a cute look. And I like to tie them with my eyes. Does that look like we're looking okay? Who knows? Gonna go in with some blush. Again, a mini NARS Orgasm. Best blush there is. Love blush. Totally uplifts your face. Smile. And then I just whack a bit on the tip of my nose. You want to look nice and bronzed. God, these eyebrows. Never mind, we move. I'm using the oldest highlight that I own. It's Becca Opal. Worldy. Probably need a new one. It's probably out of date. Oh, whoops. So we'll put that on my cheekbones. A little bit down your nose. Cupid's bow. Glow, glow. Happy days. So I don't know whether that answers your question now, but I don't want people to take what I'm saying is gospel and then go and finish their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. I don't want that, but all I'm doing is giving you my advice from the experience that I've had, because believe me, I've got a lot of experience in this field. So next question, do you believe in the saying, nice guys finish last? Now, this is really, really appropriate because basically, I am dating somebody at the minute. I'm gonna sneeze. Right, I'm back. I'm going to do my eyebrows. This is going to be an epic because it's hard when you're not close, I think. But so basically I'm dating a guy at the minute, and I've got to be honest, in the past there has been great, really great guys that I've dated, but a lot of the time I've dated guys who maybe aren't on the same page as me, or just want to waste my time, or are kind of dating me and then I end up liking them, and then I find out, oh my god, they're dating somebody else at the same time, and it's just really disheartening. And I'm the kind of person where I just think I'm not going to jump into a relationship with anybody just because I've been single for so long. You know, I'm very slapdash with my makeup. You know that by now. I'm definitely not an MUA. So nice guys aren't the kind of guys that I would typically go for, if that makes sense. And that's just because a lot of the time I attract the arrogant guys, are the guys who want to show off, or the guys who are very like mouthy, gobby, which, you know, it works sometimes and it doesn't work other times. And the guy that I'm dating now, I'd say, is a very nice guy. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of eyeshadow on, but like I do every time really, I just use, I've got that many palettes, it's unreal, and I'm not like bothered about which one I use really. And I just like a nice warm brown in my crease, and a little bit of shimmer on my lids. And using this MAC palette, I'll let you, what I'll do is I'll leave everything that I use in the description of this video. That'll be helpful for some of you, I think. Don't know. Right, so yeah, where was I? God. Do you know what? He treats me with so much respect. He's interested in me, not what he can kind of get from me. He is so well-mannered, lovely, been brought up well. He's like husband material. And I've got to be honest, it did shock me at first because I'm not really used to that. I'm honestly really not. I'm going to put a little bit under my eyes if I can not poke myself in the eye. I think when you're younger, going on dates here, then everywhere, maybe you can just explore, see what kind of guy you like. I think it's really important to kind of spend time with different people to find out what it is you like, because what you like when you're 16, 17, you might not like when you're 18, 19, 20, 25. And I think that's really important. Never settle. That's the message I want to get out to people. Don't settle because you feel like you have to be in a relationship. But anyways, long-winded again, of course it is. I think nice guys shouldn't finish last. I don't think they do finish last. And from my experience, all as I want is to be treated with respect, to be loved, to be treated well, to be able to have a really nice, intelligent, emotional conversation. I want to know that this person I'm investing my time in is investing the same amount of time back to me and cares about me. And actually, this day and age, you know, you do have the dating apps, which are amazing, and Instagram, but a lot of people feel, oh, well, if it's not working out with her, I can just swipe and find somebody else. That's not my mentality, but it is some people's, and that's what I struggle with in this generation. If you find somebody who is so genuine and actually has your best interests at heart, I think you need to kind of appreciate that and realise that actually sometimes that is quite rare to come by. And don't take that for granted. So I don't think nice guys finish last. I think being a good, honest, genuine, nice person is the best thing you could be. I've got to say, thank you for everybody who's been asking me on a date on this Q&A. But I'm dating somebody, so I can't. Okay, so the next question is, when is the best time to bring up your sexual partner sex number? Interesting. So I don't think that this is something that you should feel like you have to do. By the way, I'm going to go in with this eyeliner. I've just bought a new one. It is my favourite. It's from Rimmel. It's the Scandalised Kohl, and it's in brown, and it just makes your eyes pop. It is so, so gorgeous. So just put it in the lower waterline. So I think this question is a very interesting question. I just think, why do you need to know that? What difference does it make if somebody slept with one person or 50 people? Like, it shouldn't make a difference. Like, it's before they met you, as long as they're not doing that while they're with you, it shouldn't matter. And I can remember when I was younger, that question used to be asked quite a lot. People used to ask it to friends, and people used to ask it to boyfriends, girlfriends, people they're dating. As I've got older, it's not a question that's asked as much, and I just think, well, does it matter? It really truly doesn't matter to me. I'm not gonna judge somebody based on how many people they've slept with. I would never ask that question. Guys tend to ask it more than girls, I would say, because I think girls are quite logic, and we think, I'm not going to ask a question that I don't want to know the answer to. And if I ask my guy, look, how many people have you slept with, then I'm going to then instantly visualize X amount of girls sleeping with him, and I don't want to do that. I want to think about me and him. I don't want to think about his past. So if you really need to know that, then that's something that you and your partner can discuss. I don't think there's a good time, whether it's the first date or the 100th date. To me, I would literally think it was very irrelevant. But if you need to know that, then you need to assess the situation. How close are you to that person? Are you open enough to talk about something like that? And go from there. But for me, I just don't think it's something you need to worry about. If they're with you, to focus on you and them rather than their past. Now, I don't know whether I put a bit of eyeliner over the top, because I think I'm gonna put my big lashes on. I love doll lashes, and I love Ardell Demi Wispies as well. Don't know. What do you reckon? Do you think the big lashes? Yeah. I might have to stop recording for this part because I ain't very good at putting eyelashes on. Right, there we go. We've got my lashes on. Are they equal? Put some mascara on them and on the bottom lashes, and you'll be beautiful. God, I'm so hyper today, as usual. Right, okay, so next question. Trying to get through as many as I can. How to be a little more out there and tell someone you like them. I'm not great at doing that. I'm trying to think what I was like. I can remember being like, the thing is, when I was younger, I didn't really have like loads of confidence. Hang on, because I've got glue hanging off my bottom lashes, which wasn't in the plan. I wasn't that confident, and I totally built my own confidence up. The one piece of advice that my mum gave is, that I'll never forget, it was probably the best piece of advice she's ever given, is look how much of a difference that makes. I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, by the way, mini version. Of course it is. She said, in general, she didn't say it in regards to boys, because she was never like one for me having a boyfriend or like push me to have a boyfriend. Like, my mum was a single mum, so I grew up without a dad, lived in a lone parent household, so I was always taught that I didn't need a man, that women can do things for themselves, and I think that's definitely translated into my adult life, because I'm very independent. Don't get me wrong, I love being looked after and spoiled by a guy, but it's not something that I find that I need. How's that looking? I think we could put a bit more bronzer on, couldn't we? Could we? What do you reckon? Yes, no, maybe? Yeah, can never have too much bronzer on. So yeah, do you see how I just kind of go off topic? So basically, she said to me, if you don't feel confident in life, pretend that you are confident. So when you walk into a job interview, if you're going into a class and you don't know anybody in the class, what you have to do is pretend you are confident, and then people will think you're confident, and then it'll be fine. Literally, that is one piece of advice that I would give to everybody. Right, I'm doing my lips now. I love to overdraw them, as you know. So I'm using blah 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 Strip Down. And then I use a bit of cork as well, because cork's a bit darker. So yeah, I would say if you're feeling a little bit shy or a little bit worried, or you think, oh my god, I don't know whether to tell him I like him. Hang on, I need to get my lipstick because this is all a bit crazy, isn't it? I'm going to use Honey Love and a bit of Flamingo. Love Flamingo. Blend my lip liner in. And I'm going to put a bit of gloss on. NYX Lingerie Gloss, clear, fave. Makes your lips look gorgeous. Yeah, so as I was saying, at the end of the day, you've got nothing to lose, right? That's the way I see everything. Like, sometimes I used to be really nervous and anxious. I mean, now I'm confident. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. And I just think, listen, what have I got to lose? Like, the guy I'm dating followed me. And I messaged him. And he was like shocked. He was like, can't believe you messaged me first. And I was like, why? If I see something I like, I'm just going to go for it. And I just think the worst thing that can happen is they go, oh, look, I'm seeing somebody, or oh, look, I'm not interested, or you know what, it's just not a vibe. And like, okay, nobody likes to be rejected, but I just think, well, at least you then know and you've took the first step and you find out whether somebody likes you or not, or is willing to go out with you or not. And if they're not, then that's their loss, really. The way I see life is, if it's not going to kill you, you can bounce back from it. So anyways, this is the finished look. I might try and back comb my hair a little bit. Emphasis on the word try, because I'm absolutely shocking at this. I just want a little bit more body in my hair. My hair is quite heavy, so it's quite flat. And I've got a pea head, so I don't know what question I actually answered there. Was it how to be a little more out there and tell somebody you like them? I'm not great at doing that. Or was it I have really bad confidence, how do I make it look like I'm confident? I think both of them questions go into one. And like, if you've got really bad confidence and you want to tell somebody that you like them, and how do you make it look like you've got more confidence, I literally just believe in the phrase fake it till you make it. There's nothing better than a confident guy and girl. I think confidence is so attractive, and I think once you start pretending you're confident, you start realizing that it's a thing. You end up being confident. That's how I built my confidence up. I wasn't always confident. I was quite not reserved, but I was a bit like, oh god, what happens if this happens? Bit of an overthinker, worried in case things might have went wrong, or if I said the wrong thing. And I think the older you get, the more you just embrace yourself and embrace what you bring to the table. And ultimately, the worst thing that can happen is you fall over your words, or you stutter, or they say, do you know what, I'm not really that interested. And then you just go, right, no problem. Don't let it knock you. I know it's easy for me to say, like, there's somebody out there for you, and you don't need to worry about how you're going to meet them, when you're going to find them, because I truly believe in the law of attraction, and I truly believe in the universe, and I think what's for you will present itself to you, and what's not for you will pass you, or the universe will make sure that it doesn't work so that you aren't with that person because that's not meant for you, if that makes sense. I want to answer them all. Like, I really want to answer all of these questions, but I'm going to answer 3 more questions, even though I'm pretty much finished getting ready, because I just want to answer as many as I can. This is the next question. A guy's trying to get with me and we have so much in common, but he denies he has a girlfriend. What I would say about this is run for the hills. If a guy has got a girlfriend and he's trying to be with you, and you know for a fact he has got a girlfriend but he's denying it, that is a massive red flag. Let me tell you, if you think somebody's got a girlfriend, trust your intuition, trust your gut. Your gut never lies. A woman's intuition is very, very powerful. Don't be fooled. If you think, or if you know a guy's got a girlfriend and you think he's going to leave her for you, you're probably mistaken. Don't waste your time, because the likelihood is they're not going to leave their girlfriend for you. So find somebody who's single. Find somebody who really wants to invest in you. You can't accuse people. You've just got to be honest. Ask, have you got a girlfriend? I've heard that you have. If they give you a clear, definitive answer, then fair, you know, I'm out. I'm not going to be the bit on the side. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not going to disrespect another girl like that. Or even if they're saying, look, I'm breaking up with that person, for me personally, I would step out and I would just say, look, I don't want to be part of this situation when you're going through a transition and you're kind of moving on from one person to me. Like, I think you probably don't want to be caught up in that situation. If there's red flags, those red flags are normally right. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always like to make sure that I don't judge people on past experiences. Just because I've been cheated on before doesn't mean that the next guy's going to cheat on me. Don't have your guard up too high, but don't let it down straight away, because I'm very extreme. I'm either like that or I'm like, yo, take everything. I'm giving you all my trust. I'm going to put so much energy into you. I'm going to invest in you. And then obviously sometimes you can end up hurt. Believe me, I've been stood in the club and seen a guy and he's walked in with another girl and I'm stood there like, oh, is that how we're moving, yeah? Of course, when I seen that situation, I was like, I'm out. Make sure you're focusing on you and not them. Like, you're you. You're always going to have you. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, and don't be taken a fool of, because you're worth more than that, and I know that and you know that. Good topics of conversation is the next question. So I am a very chatty person. For me, I love getting to know somebody, so I always treat a date like an interview, and I think I'm going to speak to that person to find out what they like, what they believe in, who they are, what their family are like, what their ambitions are. It's an interview, and it's an interview for you and them, and it's a good opportunity for you to kind of find out more about them and them to find out more about you. So I just think, like, find out about them. If you're genuinely interested in that person, the topics of conversations will just roll and they will just literally move from one topic to another. Like, I love to know about people's life, like how they grew up, you know, what they're interested in, where, you know, even things like where they work, what their career paths look like, where they want to go in the future. Like, it doesn't have to be deep. I'm a very deep person, so I like talking about deep topics, but just keep it light, keep it nice, find out the things that you want to find out, and, you know, hopefully they'll ask, you know, questions as well. Also, if you've met through mutual friends, or you live in the same city, or even if you live in a different city, which is often the case for me. I very rarely date guys from Newcastle, just the way it works. It's really nice to ask about the city that they're from, you know, find out about their background. They might have a different upbringing to you. I just love it. I love finding out about people. I think there's no better conversation than talking about each other. So I've had a lot of questions. I'm really sorry because there's so many questions that I want to answer, but I just don't want this video to go on any longer. It's already absolutely so long. But I've had a lot of questions about my type, what I go for, what kind of things do I like. My type varies, and I'm not going to go into that too much. I tend to go for qualities. I think by the time you get to the age of 30, you know exactly what you want, what you like, what you don't like, what you're willing to accept, what you might think, I've kind of had that before, that personality trait normally puts me off. Somebody asked what's my opinion on long distance relationships. I've dated a lot of people long distance. I think if two people like each other, distance absolutely shouldn't and doesn't matter to me. I honestly believe that your soulmate can't just be living around the corner, and if he is, you're very lucky. Like, I think sometimes people maybe grab a guy in their city because they're like, oh, he's got to be for me, and because it's convenient. Like, I don't do anything because it's convenient. I do it because it's come from passion, soul and heart, like in general in life. So I would always say, don't let distance put you off. And this is 100% definitely my last question, because this video, if you've got to the end of this video, comment, because you are an OG. You are an absolute OG. But the last question is, what do you do if you both like each other but you don't have anything in common? Now, this is an amazing question because I've got two stances on this. If you're physically attracted to somebody, I think that's really important. There's got to be physical attraction, but you've got to have common ground, because if you want to spend time with that person, like even just a year, or whether you're thinking long term, like a lifetime, you need to have common ground. But I also think on the flip side of that is differences are fabulous, and I've realised dating, you know, several people over my lifetime, that when somebody's too alike, I clash with them. So I was dating a guy when I was, you know, probably 21, 22, gorgeous, amazing. I'm quite a feisty, passionate, loud person, and he was also a feisty, loud, passionate person, and we clashed. We argued, and it was fireworks, and it was very dramatic and up and down, and it was toxic, and there was great moments, but there was terrible moments as well. Whereas my long-term boyfriend, he was very calm and chilled, and there was no problems and whatever, and that works a lot better for me, because then we complemented each other, and he could maybe make me more chilled and I could bring out his more productive side. And it's the same now. The guy I'm dating now, he's very laid back, very chill, very blasé, nothing's a problem, and I'm obviously me. But I've realised that having somebody who's calm and laid back is very, very good for me. The thing is if you like somebody but you don't have anything in common, like how long is that going to last? When you say you've got nothing in common, do you mean you don't, you know, you don't like the same genre of music, you don't like the same food, you've come from a different background, you've got different ambitions in life? Like, I think I've been very fussy over my lifetime, and I always get wrong off my friends and my family, because they're like, you're too fussy. And I think there's nothing the matter with being fussy, because you know your worth, you know your standards, you know what you're looking for. But also I think perfection doesn't exist, and you've got to remember that you're probably not going to meet somebody who is going to tick all of your boxes. And if you do, again, you're very, very lucky. But there's got to be a bit of compromise, and if there's 80% of the things about this person that you love and you get on with, and there's 20% where you think, oh god, I don't like the jeans he wears, or I like going to bougie restaurants and he likes going to Nando's. Like, there's always a middle ground. Like, if you're sat there and you're like, you know, this person who's asked me this question, if you like this person but you have nothing in common, nothing apart from that you fancy each other, it's not going to work. It's not going to be, there's going to be no longevity to it, and you're probably going to finish, and you're probably going to have accumulated feelings for somebody and then realise it's not going to be a vibe. So I don't know, I think it's a really hard one. I think as you grow up as well, I think, you know, things change, people change, you might grow into each other but you might grow apart, and that's just one of those things. But if you've definitely got nothing in common, I would always go for personality over looks, because looks fade, personality just grows and just gets better, and the more comfortable and older you get, the happier and more your personality shines. So I would always say, if your personality matches and is compatible and you've got things in common that you can talk about and that you can vibe over and you can laugh and enjoy life, that's going to be worth more than looking at somebody and thinking, whoa. But if you're lucky, you can get a bit of both. But anyways, I have rambled on for so long. If I've missed your question, I'm so sorry. Let me know if you want us to do a live, if you want us to do a similar video to this, maybe on my YouTube channel. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and have an amazing day. Enjoy life, stay safe, and sending you so much love.